For the, of course I'm muted. Why would I not be muted? It's a Saturday. But Baker is off with family and Sal is off with family, so I decided I would give us something to do for a little bit until Jody Day because Sal will be filling in for Dave. Because I think Dave got a little bit white girl wasted last night. Just a little bit. So I figured I'd do some newsy news today. Hopefully, I'm not muted anymore. Good morning, Flux. So, our first newsy news story in the Dear God, Do You Want to Lose More Money? Rumor mill. No, it was user error, as per usual. In our Would You Like to Lose More Money, Marvel? There is a rumor swirling about in the vague recesses of every kid of the 90s who grew up with the kind of really good 90s Marvel, well, mutants uh, cartoon, you know. But apparently, Marvel Studios may have the upcoming X-Men reboot center on female Marvel or female mutants because, well, goodness, that's worked so swimmingly in the past. And what's bad about this is you have some really kick-ass, female mutants, but they're gonna be wasted against the patriarchy. Oh dear God, save us all. In what, if true, could go down as perhaps the most predictable Marvel Studios decision of all time, a new whisper on the street has suggested that X-Men's debut outing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe will not focus on any of the titular team's iconic incarnations, but will instead tell a story centered on female mutants among their ranks. Yeah, let's have Rogue when if we want to go full like dark female comic, we could go Rogue when she unalived, that one chick for talking to her dude friend who turned out to be gay, I think, in the current comic iteration, so it really doesn't matter. Then, you know, she basically unalived her, and that's how she got to be able to fly. I mean, we could do that. I mean, Rogue has kind of terribly dark origins if we wanted to go down that road. But no, I'm sure it's going to be how they weren't really they were always awesome to begin with. Let's see here. So, not Wolverine, but Jubilee, what's her face? No idea who this chick is. Storm. I mean, Storm led the X-Men for a long time. We don't need to insert bullshit into storyline, but that would be I know. I love Rogue. She's insecure. She tends to hurt people when she touches them. She has a southern accent. She reminds me of Bonnie Raitt, who I think is awesome. I mean, I'm just saying we could have an entire Rogue series and I'd be cool with it, but no. This latest rumor regarding the cinematic return of Marvel's Merry Band of Mutants has first raised in the public on December 18th, courtesy of a post made by Scooper Daniel R.P.K. Richmond to his personal Patreon account. Therein, per a recap provided by numerous outlets, including the at X-Men Reboot fan Twitter account, Reichman provided 3 new alleged details regarding the X-Men cinematic reboot, including that Mr. Sinister would serve as the main villain, that Magneto would be left out of the cast in an attempt to differentiate between the MCU's mutant films and the previous Fox ones, which, yes, it says Lego my egos. It's a huge one. I simply threw it on because I got So I told you guys yesterday that while I was forgetting my only wifely duty, which was to pick up my husband's coffee at Walmart, I ended up getting myself LED, new LED ring lights, or well, square lights, and wearing a white tank top. As a person of the clearer, pale complexion, I end up looking much more washed out. So I threw on a yellow shirt to look less clear, if that makes any sense. Nander's Man Bun, good morning. And Sarah Adams, good morning. And I apologize to everyone. Last night, my leg was not liking things, so I generally don't take my PRN help me sleep medicine. And unfortunately, I had to last night. So when you wake up, could we have a medicine again that doesn't make you feel cray cray? But no. So it does leave you feeling slightly. I probably feel much better than Dave, but only by, 2 orders of magnitude is what I'm going to tell you. So I don't know. No, look, as a chick, yes, as a chick, as a uterus haver, as a Lady Bits owner, stop making this a character feature. I know this is shocking to all of those of you in Hollywood and the writers that aren't being fired right now in Hollywood. But as a woman, I rarely make I rarely make any decisions in a, 3 point, conference with myself, my uterus, and my boobs. I would much rather I would much rather there be strong, flawed, human female characters that aren't. The problem with the female characters that we are having now is that they do not have flaws. They don't have flaws. They don't have anything to overcome because they were already awesome to begin with. And it was just that they weren't, doggone it, they just didn't believe in themselves enough because of the patriarchy. But once they realized they were awesome, they were fine. I mean, do we really want to go through Rey, the Wonder Jedi, who never did any training? Let's see. We've got Katniss Everdeen, though we can kind of put her aside. But you've got, oh, the new chick from the Ahsoka TV series, which was a pain in the ass, Sabine. I mean, again, I know Hollywood, you guys have had the worst year you are ever had. And instead of changing how things are going, you've decided, no, we're going to double and triple down and then be confused why people aren't going to the movie theaters. And the problem is that movie theaters are actually struggling because they don't have anything going for them. They don't have anything to sell. And Kamala Khan is going to lead the mutants. So there you go. But that is enough nerdiness talk. So there you go. In a shock to no one, the new iteration of Disney's, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja X-Men, or X-People, if you will be female-led, allegedly. In another person that probably needs to go on the naughty list, though I think he might be a little upset, more so that there simply weren't any people of different persuasions to help him with his haircut. But I could be wrong. And as you all know, I make fun of both sides politically, so here we are. North Dakota lawmaker unleashes homophobic and slurs during a DUI arrest. Quote, "You're gonna regret picking on me." A North Dakota politician told police they were going to regret picking on him and threatened to call their manager, the state's attorney general, during his racist and homophobic rant as he was arrested for drunk driving after a Christmas party last Friday. What an art tart. Rep. Nico Rios, a Williston Republican lawmaker, was arrested and charged with DUI and refusing to provide a chemical test, according to the Bismarck Tribune. I mean, as you do, I just like to start throwing out the most incredibly offensive things I can figure, like with all of the ists and phobes, as soon as the police are even walking out of the car, because I figure, start on the right foot. One of these days when I become a giant, as big as Steven Crowder, and I can do my own bits, and I have a bunch of uh, people, and we can do our own bits, I'm gonna do a reverse of what, oh gosh, what Chris Rock, how to not get your A kicked. Well, an art tart is what I used to say. Thank you. What I used to say instead of the R word, because my mom used to work with people with developmental disabilities, and we weren't allowed to use the R word. So I used to say art tart, and then she said that sounded too similar. And I was like, well, mother, what do you want me to say? Effers? I may have been a difficult child. Looking back at it. Yes, I had him get me some popcorn puffs for no reason that I should have them. Look, you'll get healthy on a kick, Mo, come January. This is Mo making terrible decisions after it felt like no lack of sleep. Any hoozle. Now, but once I get all of the money and I have my own variety show, I will be doing a how to behave for the police if you'd like to get tased. And it's just going to be me doing the things that I've seen on these lovely and informative DUI body cams, because I believe that there are things to be learned. Hey, Joe. He was pulled over when officers noticed that the person was failing to stay in his lane, which prompted Rios to become verbally abusive, homophobic, racially abusive, and discriminatory. Again, sir, you don't have the haircut. And look, I'm not trying to profile it or nothing, but it will be a green tank top. Look, I've already told Mr. Mo that I'm getting 7 green tank tops, one for each day of the week, and we're going to have a Hannah week. I don't know when, I don't know how. It'll probably be during spring break, but there will be a Hannah week, and we will just do body cams. The lawmaker was put through field sobriety tests where he didn't really pass, if you will. Quote, you guys are going to regret picking on me because you don't know who the F I am. I always tell people that. I'm like, do you know who the F I am? And they're like, ma'am, we have heard you yelling who the F you are for 5 years. We don't know you. And I was like, well, that's because you haven't subscribed. Come join my channel. I'm just kidding. Rios was then handcuffed and read his rights before he asked the officers, quote, what can I do to drive my truck and drop it off at my place? Yeah, people are like, this is Wendy's, ma'am. Stop. Yeah, no, you have what we call a DUI. You are out drunk. We're not going to let you drive at home, sir. When he was told he was going to jail, Rios apparently called one of the officers an effing F word. Now, the fact that I have to use, like a 4-year-old, F word and R word on what are not considered expletives, I find upsetting. Now, I can understand both having certain connotations that would be offensive, but the fact that as a 90s kid, we use those interchangeably with dumbass. Look, it doesn't mean the same thing when I'm saying it, damn it. But I can understand why it hurts people's feelings, so I try to be respectful of that, but still. He was placed in the back of an officer's squad car and demanded his phone so he could call the North Dakota Attorney General and manager Drew Wrigley to let him know the officers were, quote, being asses to him. Rio, sitting in the backseat of the police cruiser, turned his tirade against Officer Alexander Welch, an English-born American citizen, as the lawmaker pointed out that the officer's accent and bizarrely claimed that he doesn't think, quote, people from England should be arresting Americans. It's about time we got some, isms against the English. I always felt that there was just not enough discrimination toward the English. The fact that the tables have turned and a man named Rios is calling out a, English-born American citizen for his British accent, this might be the best story of 2023. I didn't know if I was going to cover this story because it's political and I generally stay away from politics, but this has reached a level of absurd that I love. And the change where, Senator Rios is now calling for the export of this British American citizen for having a British accent. Oh my God. This tickles me to no end. Sorry. Thank you very much, Making Law Simple. And Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, Happy Kwanzaa, solemn something else, and whatever the Klingons celebrate. Marry one of those two. Thank you so much. Let me put that on the board. In fluorescent green, since that is a giantly, bigly, huge donation. I also need to go get a hot glue gun because all of my strings are falling off. Mr. Mo will just be glad when the Christmas is over because he swears that the unicorn head follows him around the room. And apparently you're arresting. So his other quote was, "You're arresting me for driving home, but people come into your country and what?" Okay, so people come into your country and grape your women, and I'm the effing bad guy. I'm going to fight for the people of England more than you ever would, you little bee. Well, I do like how people get so nice and drunk people are asses. Welsh refuses to answer Rios's vile remark as the representative continues to belittle him from the back of the car, the body cam footage shows. Quote, "You're ruining my life so you can effing make a paycheck." Well, that is kind of our job now. If you want to join the very wonderful and totally awesome defund the police movement, you might have to switch teams, but also, and maybe more importantly, how about you not drive drunk, you giant man-boobed idiot, okay? Because it's never the drunk driver. It rarely is the drunk driver that seems to get hurt, but it's always, like the freaking school bus full of like nuns going to feed the homeless that you seem to plow into. So could you just, could you just shut your mouth hole for 5 minutes, take it as an L and then, realize that this was a bad idea. And it's not like we don't have Ubers. It's not like you don't have a cab. Maybe you have a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend. I don't care what you have. But you shouldn't be putting other people who chose not to drink and drive in danger. But sure, it's all just to get you. Rios was elected to his first term in 2022 following the creation of District 23, which covers parts of Winston, Trenton, and Beaufort in North Dakota. The deeply embarrassed lawmaker apologized on December 18th for lashing out. Well, Fry's like, if he's going to show his ass, I'm going to show my bulbs because I got bigger ones. Also, do you think he was making fun of people because what is this haircut? Like, for the love of Republicans, but what in the Newt Gingrich is this haircut? Mr. Rios, stop making fun of people, go find a good barber, go to an AA meeting, and quit. This is in North Dakota, Farrell. Now here's his apology. Quote, I am deeply embarrassed, and this is not how I want to represent the people. My terrible decisions that night will not hinder my ability to represent and fight for the people of District 23. I am deeply sorry and regretful for my actions. Rio said that he will seek, quote, appropriate help to make sure this never happens again. Yes, those are the Buford. So Winston, Trenton, and Buford are the cities that he represents in the district that he, I guess, covers in North Dakota. Now, apparently, they also don't have barbers there. Now, sir, you do go to the, at least this, you at least go to the Capitol sometime. I'm sure they have barbers there. North Dakota's Democratic NPL party insti- instituted or insinuated that Rio should resign. And yes, you should. Oh, I'm sorry, Williston. I am sorry. Look, I learned everything I know from MLS about reading and learning and pronunciating stuff. Quote, it used to be that when public service servants disgrace themselves, they resign rather than bringing shame upon those they represent. Party Chair Adam Goldwyn said in a statement, it seems that Republican Party no longer has a sense of shame. Oh, y'all all do things that are deeply shameful to America. Don't even try it. Rios's party condemned his, quote, deeply troubled actions. We are deeply now for the Republican Party. We are deeply troubled by Representative Rios's dangerous decision to drive while intoxicated and his remarks to law enforcement officers. State Republican Party Executive Director Andrew, I'm going to say News, told an outlet, adding, his behavior does not represent the values of the NDGOP. The two charges are misdemeanors under state law, and Rios is scheduled for a February 5th pretrial conference in municipal court. Rios was also cited for having an open container of alcohol in his trunk. Well, isn't that special? You know, sir, as it is, you have brought hilarity to my life for the absolute absurdist, but interestingly, kind of switched situation in which a representative with the last name of Rios is telling, a man who I'm guessing his parents were overseas and stationed in England when he was born, so he has, a very English accent, but is an American citizen. So you basically telling him to go back to his own country. I find that deeply hilarious, which means I'm a weirdo, but hey, it makes me giggle. In other weird as hell news, implanted heart device explodes, causing a fire that unalived a father and 3-year-old son. Now, something about this sounds very wrong, but let's continue. In his car. So I think it was on, let me see if I said trunk or. Yeah, it said trunk. I don't know. I have no idea. To be honest with you, I have no idea. Okay, so the widow of a man has filed a lawsuit alleging a series of failures led to the deaths of her husband and 3-year-old son after a medical heart pump device implanted in her husband exploded, causing a fire in their apartment in Georgia of last Christmas. This sounds like some Black Mirror. Oh, for the love of all that is holy. I should have read this before I read this to you. Uh, right. Mo in the Deep End, the channel name, subsidiary, and subscribe to, would like to apologize for the incoming butchering of this name and all names associated with these. This is not out of lack of any cultural sensitivity. It's just because, oh my God, I can't read. Okay, so Fatu Gunda Seka, the surviving spouse of Muhammadu Tarwali and mother of Matar Muhammadu, filed her lawsuit alleging negligence against the makers of the heart device, its battery, and the managers of the apartment complex, along with others involved at the location that had been under a 24/7 fire watch due to previous fires and fire protection deficiencies and fire code value. Look, y'all, it has been brought to my attention that my naming, I may have, pronunciation issues. And I was like, yes, but it's not meant to be malicious or in poor taste. I simply can't read. I graduated before No Child Left Behind. I was left behind. I lose my life. It was my life. Seka told the Atlanta's ABC affiliate WSB-TV, which broke the story. The tragedy happened when the fire, originating from a defective medical device, the HeartMate 3 left ventricular assistance system, implanted in Tarwali in May 2022 to control the beating of his heart, killed him and their young son, according to court documents. Seka had been working at the Atlanta airport when the fire broke out. The mobile device is supposed to alert the user to any alarming conditions by activating lights, symbols, sounds, and on-screen messages, the lawsuit said. It said the internal backup battery pack that is supposed to power the HM3 pump for at least 15 minutes in case of a power loss. So is he connected to the wall, or if it's internal, it should be a rechargeable internal. This is okay. On the afternoon of December 25th, 2022, Tarwali's HM3 device, quote, catastrophically failed when its system controller, due to a manufacturing defect in one of the battery packs, 3 battery cells internally shorted, overheated, and experienced a thermal runaway. That's so on Christmas Day? Well, no. So it seems so he had a ventricular, it seems like a ventricular valve implanted, along with, it sounds like some sort of pacemaker or something. And I'm guessing it had a rechargeable battery pack or something like that. And yeah, his heart, to put it succinctly, his heart Chernobyl fell hammer. Yes, on Christmas Day, no less. As a result of the thermal runaway, the battery cells in HM3 system controller combusted and or exploded, and the HM3 device stopped pumping Mr. Tarawali's heart, causing Mr. Tarawali's death. The fire spread over his body, clothing, and the bed he was on. There was no smoke detector or fire alarm sounded, no sprinklers activated, and no one from the apartment's complex fire watch noticed the fire, the lawsuit said. The fire watch system consisted of someone on the grounds walking the premises around the apartment building up and down the stairwells, constantly checking. So I am going back to this has to be a major issue with this implant because I cannot figure out. Yeah. But also, why does this apartment complex not have smoke detectors that are functional, sprinklers that are functional, or any of those things? This does seem like an actual righteous lawsuit if they also didn't have those safe fails underway. A disabled neighbor in a wheelchair smelled, then saw smoke, called his nephew who lived nearby for help. Once there, the nephew pulled the fire alarm in an upstairs breezeway, alerting firefighters. Once the blaze was put out, first responders discovered Tarwali's badly burned body on his bed. Oh, his son was found at the foot of his bed. He had passed from smoke inhalation. On December 1st, the family filed their wrongful death lawsuit, alleging product liability claims for strict liability and negligence against the companies responsible for making and selling the defective HM3 device and its battery pack and backup batteries. The lawsuit also alleges negligence and premises liability against the apartment complex management. I mean, at this point, from what I've read here, it doesn't seem like this is a frivolous. We've seen them, frivolous lawsuits. My coffee was too hot, no one told me I couldn't put, a fork in the microwave. Those kind of, this seems like actual negligence happened. It seems like the apartments didn't take care of that kind of stuff, but let's read on. They allege management knew the day before the fatal fire that neither the sprinkler system nor its fire alarm system was functional in Building 16. Court documents also allege management had been ordered by Clayton County Fire Department that day to place Buildings 16 and 15 under a 24/7 fire watch. The lawsuit alleges the complex hired to conduct the fire watches failed to comply to the standard of care to carry out the duties. Quote, "This is a tragic situation and our hearts go out to the family. Our device has an extremely strong safety record and there is no history of the controller, battery, or LVAD catching fire," Scott Stoffel, a spokesperson for the device maker Abbott Laboratories Inc., said. In WSBTV reported, "We believe the allegations are without merit." Or do you just not want to pay money? Yeah, this one sounds pretty legit. Now, my worry is that they're gonna get a good ruling from the apartment. We have already seen with the Maya case that these medical conglomerates are really, really litigious. They bring out the heavy hitters. Even if you get a settlement from them, they will go after the jurors. So this will be one to watch. Now, the makers of the battery pack, Panasonic Corporation of North America and Panasonic Energy Corporations of America, and the attorney representing the apartment complex declined to comment. So this does seem like an actual legit sort of, this seems like a legitimate suit. And I think that there are a lot of issues that need to be brought up here, especially with the apartment complex. If there are still people that are living there and they have not, upgraded the fire safety system, the sprinklers, anything like that. So this is a terrible tragedy for it to happen on Christmas Day. And then, hopefully at least the apartment has taken steps to keep the families that still live there safe. And I hope that this mother is getting help because, God, I can only imagine how awful this time is right now. So I really hope that she has a lot of love and support around her. From Bigfoot to bugs, the year's quirkiest stories. So let's see if I managed to cover any of these. I figured I would look and see. From offbeat and intriguing to humorous and outlandish, the Tribune has covered quite a few quirky stories in 2023. And here are the top 5. Searching for Sasquatch. In October 1967, filmmakers Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin captured a video of what they believed to be a giant hairy creature walking on 2 legs. And since that time, the question of whether Bigfoot actually exists has captured the curiosity of thousands of enthusiasts. That includes Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization. So these are mainly Indiana stories, but I figured it'd be fun to look at what it is that Indiana has actually done this year. And then, yes, don't forget to go over to Crime Spies. She is covering the Zachariah Anderson trial. She's doing a trial rewatch. And if you haven't watched the trial, I might actually watch with Crime Spies. You know, it's definitely one that I think needs a lot of eyeballs on it. From people I really trust and admire, people have said that there is something very hinky going on there. So definitely take a moment to go look at her channel and watch that trial, because it's amazing what you see from multiple viewings. Because sometimes, at least for me, and I don't know about anyone else, sometimes when I'm watching something for the first time, I'll notice a couple of things and I'll jot them down. But upon rewatching, I can kind of look at, more body language or how people are interacting. Or if I know more pieces to the story, you can kind of see things a little differently. So it is interesting to go back and watch sometimes, I think, as long as you don't get, because sometimes it can make you a little ragey too. So know your limits, know what you can do. So apparently Indiana has a Bigfoot research organization, and I think I know what Mr. Moe's getting a membership to for Christmas. And earlier this year, the organization conducted its annual campout in the Morgan Monroe County or State Forest in hopes of catching a glimpse of the bipedal creature. Well, yeah, come close to Walmart near my neck of the woods. Look, when it gets hot round here, some men decide to wear tank tops, and from the back, you are not sure if Cousin It or Chewbacca decided to come into, the mini mart to get some Funyuns. It's like, Cletus, damn it, have your wife shave your back. Otherwise, you're gonna get tagged one of these days as Bigfoot. Let's see. Around 40 people attended the campout, according to a Tribune article at the time, including the organization's leader, Leroy Nail. Nail admitted to the Tribune, while he has never seen Bigfoot face to face, he believes in him in his heart. He has, quote, seen bioluminescent eyes stare out from the forest and heard unseen creatures lurking in the shadows. Yes, it's called most nocturnal animals have way more cone and receptor cells in their eyes. So when you flash a light on them, they're going to have it's going to reflect back. That's not special, sir. I'm not a biologist or anything, but I quote, I don't need that because I've experienced so much other stuff, Nail told the Tribune. I know he's there. Well, there you go. Okay, Vito. Well, I was Cletus, Leroy, Dwayne. We got a lot of Dwaynes around here. Dwayne and Dwayne. Apparently, there's a difference. I did not know that, but there were two boys in one of my kids' class, and one was Dwayne and one was Dwayne. And I was like, I'm out, y'all. I am out. The next story was Kiss and Tell Off when Kiss lead guitarist and co founder Ace Frehley took the stage to perform at Hayes Apperson Festival in July. No one probably expected the real fireworks to happen behind the scenes, but that's exactly what happened when John Ostrowski, Oresti, Oristosky, look, whatever his name was, the tour manager and personal assistant, was arrested on a handful of charges related to intimidation and public intoxication. Wait, are you telling me a roadie was drunk? I'd be more confused if a roadie was stone cold sober and telling me about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, okay? Just saying, y'all. I'd be like, you need to catch him. Some shit's going down here. I don't even understand, all right? Wyman has also been the festival's chairperson. Oh, okay. And apparently he made a death threat to the former Howard County Commissioner, Paul Wyman, as you do. Wyman's been the festival's chairman for the past several years. According to court documents, police were called to Rumi Academy just before midnight on June 30th in reference to a disturbance. When the police arrived, they saw the manager, John, inside the business, pacing back and forth. The witness to the incident said that John told Wyman, quote, "One day I'm going to come back here and you're dead," end quote. Ah, I need to look that up. Joe also reportedly stated Kiss would never play another concert in Kokomo. Well, I'm sure Kiss will be very sad about not having to come to Kokomo, Indiana. Very, very sad. A hairy situation. So back in October, Kokomo made the national news and even a couple late night talk shows after a picture showed a woman getting her hair cut at a local Taco Bell. The situation has since been corrected, according to restaurant officials. The woman was named Jen Laguerre, who originally took the photo, which appeared to show a Taco Bell shift manager giving a haircut to the restaurant's general manager in the back area of the building. You know, it's a good thing you only rent Taco Bell. But, if you get a hairy... Nothing I say here is gonna... If you get a hairy gordita, I mean, that's gonna ruin your day. And the only reason I ever go to Taco Bell is once in a great blue moon, I will have a craving for the worst thing you can possibly drink, which is Baja Blast Mountain Dew. Fully leaded, full sugared pop. Once in a great blue moon, I want just a regular one of them. Well, it was their pre-wedding. But before too long, the photo went viral and sparked a complaint and an inspection by the Howard County Health Department. Hook. Look, probably, and I don't drink fully leaded. I call it fully leaded, but regular pop, I don't drink it very often. So once in a great blue moon, I'll go and get something there, but yeah, as I have gotten older, my body's like, the hell are you trying to kill me? Heifer, it's called a vegetable. Look it up. So sometimes, you know, I still think I'm 12-year-old me. And then my body is like, ma'am, have we talked to you about your osteoarthritis? I need you to get some yoga in. I need you to start working on that. We need to start doing some squats. Okay. Oh, so these are not interesting stories. I thought these were going to be interesting, but apparently not much goes on in Kokomo. Is all we got. Okay. As it is, the break, and I don't know about you guys, but used to could, when there were good kid movies, we would, over winter break, we might go to a movie or two. Now, there's none really good out lately that I have seen, but Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom have has come out, and I personally will not be watching because they left what's her face in it, Amber Heard in it, but fired Johnny Depp and brought in Mads Mikkelsen, which I'm also okay with, but still, they left Amber Heard in. And even though that's not unforgivable. Ugh. So Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom flounders with critics and receives disappointing scores across the board. How about we sweeten the deal and give them, well, how would they feel about, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Uh, this is the way the DCEU ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. Review scores for James Wan's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom are in, and they point to a fairly mediocre reception from critics. I mean, are we shocked? It's a DCEU movie. I mean, they've got James Gunn to reboot the entire thing, so I'm sure we'll love seeing for the 80th time how Superman learned how to be a real human. It'll be great. We'll learn all the things. It'll be wonderful. A sour yet expected send-off to the DC cinematic universe that kickstarted in 2013 by Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. When Jason Momoa looks like he's had a shower and he still can't carry your film, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to sell. Starring Jason Momoa in the role of King of Atlantis, the final entry in the DCEU has been met with middling to negative reviews, with a score of 44 on the review aggregator site Metacritic. And yeah, well, look, it's not his fault. He's stuck with Amber Heard. If you were married to Amber Heard, would you want to deal with it? I know. I know, Bobby. I'm sorry. He really should. Giving the film a 7.5 out of 10, Roger Ebert's Matt Zoller sits writes, quote, Momoa is the best reason to go see this movie. He's as alpha cool, even jerkish as a maverick action star can be, while also making you believe his character is fundamentally decent and knows when he's gone too far and sincerely feels bad about it. He's got range. Um, I don't think anyone who's seen Jason Momoa act has ever said he's got range. Eris, you may have him. I am more in the Henry Cavill. Jason Momoa always looks like he has given up deodorant for the year. He's just one of those people. Look, I don't know why, but I imagine he just smells heavily of patchouli and weed at all times. Now, the other dude, the blonde dude that in this movie, I'm I'll take custody, okay? But I'm glad we won't have to fight about this, Eris. Bobby, may I kindly ask for the rest of humanity that you just wear deodorant then, just a little bit, because there's nothing like that spicy corn chip smell of BO that will just become. I know. Look, everybody is everybody can and will be on Henry Cavill's side. 1 minute, Momoa will practically be doing his own smart alecky running commentary on the film he's in, and the next he'll be in bitter tears or scream out in anguish or vengeful fury over some dastardly action by a bad guy as if he's acting in a silent movie melodrama with title cards, he continued. That doesn't sound like good reviewers. Slash Films Raphael Motomayor gave the film 7 out of 10, writing Aquaman Lost Kingdom is not just a fun adventure, but it tries to tell an important story about the environment and how we're polluting our planet. Sadly, the film never goes hard enough with this idea, and it gets bogged down with the plot and lore of Atlantis. No, sir, slash Mr. Raphael. See, no, we don't go to movies to watch slacktivism. We go to movies with a good story. I know this is confuserating to you because you believe we should all believe as you do, and most of us do. We just don't want ridiculous adult pretenders and, the director friends who do everything to screw each other over, telling us how to live on moral high ground, because we're kind of done with that. I know you do, Bobby. That's why you and I are going to the movie together. Like, we'll sit in different rows unless I spray you with Febreze, though. um, in a little spoiler thing though that I think some people will find really upsetting, and I learned about this. I wasn't a big fan of the Aquaman comics, but I do know that the bad guy in this movie unalives Aquaman's family, or at least his youngish son. So apparently it was so bad that people got up and walked out of the screening. So I don't know if they've changed that. Look, I watch Doomcock a lot. Any guy who's going to commit to making his own, helmet and all that fun stuff has my vote. I only do wigs. I mean, I don't have a paper mache helmet. So I do want to warn you guys, if you are taking your kids, I do think they still have that scene in. It is canonical. Manta does, unalive Arthur's family. Unfortunately, apparently Amber Heard isn't unalived quite quickly. So just, to let you know, if you are going to go take your kids, that is what I've heard about it. I could be wrong though. So take everything I say with like 973 pounds of salt. But you might want to look it up and get it from more nerd, established sites if this is still in the movie, because I don't want any kids to be traumatized. But I did hear from somewhere that, yeah, it was pretty bad and people walked out because most people are not insane, and that would be a bad thing. I'm sure Amber Heard just sat there and ate popcorn like, what's the deal? I don't understand. It's just a baby. It's not like I got hurt or anything, because she's Amber Heard. But there you go. Mara is still in the. Oh, I want to see the really bad films, because did the Irish Times review this? Because the Irish Times are awesome. I have to go. See, I'm okay with this dude. So, Eris, we've got our hypothetical dudes picked out if we have to go, and you can have all the Jason Momoa you want. I am gladly leaving him there on the table. I will take this dude and Henry Cavill in our hypothetical hall pass situations. But oh, let's read the New York Post one because this looks like it's hurting. This one looks like it's gonna sting a little. New York Post, John Oleniski gave the movie a 1.5 out of 4. You know what? One of the reviewers should have just put 0 out of 5. You left Amber Heard in there. You see words. Justice for Johnny. He wrote, quote, by the end of the movie Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, it's pretty clear that the king of Atlantis is about to become a fish fillet. Not because Aquaman, Jason Momoa, dies or anything like that, but you can tell from every second of the sequel just how disinterested DC Studios is in this film and the future of this character. He added, it must have been a real chore for them to finish the choppy follow up to the popular 2018 original. DC heads Peter Safran and James Gunn are hard at work on revamping the entire stumbling franchise, starting with a shiny new Superman. But first, they had to waste precious time finessing the problem plagued and oh so 5 years ago Aquaman 2. Ouch. Sir, tell me how you really feel. Also, don't give me any honest opinions. I like to be lied to, so tell me I'm pretty and look like Halle Berry, okay? Quote, I don't necessarily want it to be the end, but I don't think it's really like a choice, Momoa told Entertainment Tonight, noting that DC Studios CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran want to start their whole new thing up. Momoa added, quote, the truth of it is, I mean, the audience loves Aquaman. If the audience loves Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, there's a possibility, but right now I'm like, it's not looking good. Yeah. You know what? And they had no chemistry. I do feel bad for him, Jess, because I think Momoa on his own, what I would have liked for his origin story was for his origin story to be more about him and his family, and Mira or Mara or whatever could just have been, I don't know, lost in a whirlpool somewhere. But had they moved forward and made this more about him coming to terms with his brother and left her completely out, they wouldn't get the hate. Again, there are so many people that will refuse to go see this movie because you left Amber Heard in it. And I don't think there are enough pro Amber Heard people to fill an entire movie theater, one single movie theater, one single showing full up. Pretty much. The franchise's future is in even more trouble as Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was reportedly on track for a disappointing opening weekend, a 4-day Christmas opening, no less. We'll see debuting with less than 40 million. So the other problem is the budgets. So when you hear how much a movie costs to make, you have to almost double that for marketing. And you've got things like the Marvels, I think, has to make almost 5 million to break even, and it's not going to reach that. So if you want to go see the movie, I think look, y'all, it's the holidays. If you want to get the kids out of the daggone house and you don't want to see trolls again, I would just check with local reviewers that you know, or any reviewers that you trust on YouTube that are better than me at breaking down the plot synopsis, to make sure that it's appropriate for your kiddos, because I know there was that part where the baby did not survive. So now that means that he also had to reproduce with Amber Heard, which is also psychologically scarring as well. So take that with however much you want. In Minnesota news, just for crime spies. A plane breaks through thin ice on a Minnesota ice fishing lakes 2 days after 35 anglers were rescued. I don't get fishing. I know it's some people's jams. Heck, I know that is how Fry and his dad on Futurama, were able to put aside their differences and get together. But I don't think it will ever be my jam. So you shine on, you crazy diamonds, sitting in a little hut, freezing your bulbs off while fishing. It sounds, well, it sounds awful. But if you love it, you love it. A light plane carrying ice anglers broke through the thin ice as it tried to land on a large lake in northern Minnesota on Tuesdays, the same lake where authorities had to rescue dozens of anglers who became trapped on an ice floe 2 days earlier. The Upper Red Lake is considered one of Minnesota's premier ice fishing lakes, but the ice remains thinner than usual amid higher than normal temperatures. That can never be wrong. If you have any life choice that, one option is binge Futurama and the other option is something else, binging Futurama, as long as the something else isn't taking laboring wife into hospital, stopping world collapse, or, doing any of the million adult things you must do to be responsible, then you should always binge Futurama again. Tuesday morning's incident, according to the Beltrami County Sheriff's Office, the pilot of the Cessna 172 identified what he believed was a safe landing area, but he had difficulty slowing down because of the lack of snow. The plane slid onto thin ice, its nose broke into open water. While the plane did not sink, both anglers got wet from the waist down. They were taken to a nearby resort where they were given dry clothing. On Sunday evening, emergency responders used an airboat to rescue 35 people after they'd become stranded on a piece of ice that broke away from the shore because of strong winds. During the rescue operation, the gap between the ice floe and the main ice sheet grew to about 100 yards or 100 meters. Yeah, but if you drink, okay, Mass, I understand that you would drink in this tiny cold hut as you're fishing for, I guess, snowfish. I don't know what you would fish for. I thought the fish hibernated. I have no idea. I am dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to snow fishing or ice fishing. I have no idea. So I could be totally wrong. These ice huts may be amazing. They may have like their own charcuterie boards and heaters. But oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense because I'm like, I don't get it. If it's your jam, do it. But being cold for hours to try to fish on a block of ice sounds like not my jam. But there you go. Quote, the unseasonably warm weather combined with recent rain have resulted in inconsistent ice conditions. Now, why is it the sheriff is having to tell people this? You would think that people could intuit. Never mind. Why am I giving people credit? If hotter, ice thinner. Fry, I need to get you like a little modesty blanket. Because in a couple months here, you're going to get your little, well, your berries removed. Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if they had a warmer inside or what, but Fry is like, well, while I got them, they need to air out. So, ma'am, I have to man spread. I have to puppy spread. So there you go. Those are the news stories that I pulled for this morning as I realized that Sal had a little bit of stuff to do and Baker was with family. So, Fry, stop. You're well, yeah, I would figure that the ice would look. Maybe one day I will go ice fishing with someone. I will go to Minnesota. It will be on my bucket list. Yeah, I think the way the weather's going, ice fishing may not be the sport for this year, but I could be wrong. I am not a weatherologist. Maybe Greta is right and we are all doomed to Tatooine in 2 years. I have no idea. But that is neither here nor there. What I will tell you guys is that when I sign off, let me see. I think, let me see who is on right now. I am going to redirect you to Nicholas. He is doing the Texas v. Dyke trial, which is hysterical for reasons that, well, you're 12, I'm 12, it happens. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I love when I can't remember what I'm remembering to supposed to be doing. I am an awesome, awesome host. All right, so I'm redirecting you guys there for when I'm done. I am going to go start a fire because it is a little chilly in our neck of the world. Oh, yes, you have no idea. Me ice fishing. That would be awesome. Well, I am going to kick you over to Nick. Have a wonderful day. I know we are getting close to the holidays, and I know this may not be an easy time for everyone. I know sometimes families aren't what we wish they would be, and that sucks a lot. So, hopefully we can give you guys a couple hours on the weekend to make you feel a little bit less alone, even if you have to be with your family and you feel a little alone. Because, you may be a little bit weird, but we love weird here. So just hang out with us. I will try to be on here bits and pieces or making videos this weekend. I will definitely not be on Monday because, holy God, I'll probably be putting things together and or cleaning. But I will try to at least get some videos out. So, if you have a less than, spectacular couple days coming up, we are trying to provide you guys with some content so you at least don't have to feel so like there's not stuff to look forward to. Because there is, because Jody Day, you guys, Jody. We get to see how uncomfortable that everyone will get with all of the unsmexiness going on around here. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.